Someone asks you a small favor. You say yes because it is small and you are a helpful person. Then they ask for something slightly bigger. You say yes again because you already helped once and it feels strange to stop now. Then something bigger still. And somewhere along the way, you are doing far more than you ever intended to. And you are not quite sure how you got here. This is not a coincidence. It is a well documented psychological technique, and understanding it will help you protect your time, energy, and goodwill. In 1966, psychologists Jonathan Friedman and Scott Fraser ran a revealing experiment. They approached homeowners and asked if they would display a small, unobstructive sign in their window supporting road safety. Most people said yes, as it was a small ask. 2 weeks later, they returned with a much larger request to put up a large, unattractive billboard on their front lawn. Among people who had not been questioned about the small request first, only 17% agreed. Among those who had said yes to the small sign, 76% agreed to the billboard. One small yes had made a large yes almost inevitable. They called this the foot in the door technique. Once you have said yes to something small, your brain updates its picture of who you are. You are now someone who helps with this, someone who supports this cause, someone who says yes to this person. And the next request arrives with that updated identity already in place. You experience this regularly from both sides. At work, a colleague asks for a quick favor, then another. Then your involvement in their project grows so gradually that by the time it becomes a burden, pulling back feels almost impossible. A free trial requires no commitment, but once you have signed up, cancelling feels like effort and the subscription quietly continues. A friend asks for a small amount of your time and you give it. The next request is larger, and because you said yes before, saying no now feels inconsistent with who you have shown yourself to be. The requests grow, the baseline shifts, and you find yourself committed to things you never consciously chose. The cost of this pattern is not always visible in any single moment. Each yes seems reasonable on its own. But the cumulative effect of small commitments is that your time and energy drain in ways that are hard to trace back to any one decision. And the hardest part is that this does not happen to careless people. It happens precisely to people who are conscious, helpful, and consistent. People who take their commitments seriously and feel genuine discomfort letting others down. Your kindness is real, but without awareness of this pattern, it becomes a lever other people sometimes can use. Two things that will genuinely protect you. First, before you say yes to any request, pause and ask, if this person comes back next week with something twice as large, am I comfortable with that too? Because your first yes is rarely just a first yes. It is an opening for something bigger. If the answer to that question makes you hesitate, it is worth being honest about your limits from the very beginning, rather than after the commitment has grown. Second, practice saying no to small things occasionally. Not because the request is unreasonable, but to keep the baseline honest. Every relationship and every dynamic has a baseline of what is normal to ask for. If you never say no to small things, the baseline quickly rises until larger things feel normal too. When you understand this pattern, something important shifts. You stop saying yes out of momentum and start saying yes out of genuine choice. Your help becomes more valuable to others and to yourself because it comes from a place of actual willingness rather than an inability to say no. You protect your time without becoming less generous because the goal is not to stop helping people. It is to help the ones you choose with the energy you have genuinely decided to give. And the people who respect you, the ones worth having in your life, will respond to a clear and early boundary far better than to a yes that slowly builds into resentment. Kindness with awareness is one of the most powerful things you can bring to any relationship. Kindness without it is just door left open.